Hey everybody, I just wanted to talk to you guys about some fantasy football stuff. It's easier for me to post a video than to try to explain it, writing it down. So there's just three things real quick. I'll try to be quick. So I wanted to talk about keepers for our league. So you're allowed 5 keepers for each team. And what a keeper is, it's a player you wish to keep, no pun intended, which actually might be intended. It's called keepers. But so you're allowed to choose 5 players on your team that you'd like to keep for next season. So, and you don't have to do all 5. You can just do 2, 1, 3, or you can use all 5. And the way to keep them is you have to draft them next year, the round prior to when you drafted them this year. So, for example, I drafted Kelvin Benjamin in the 4th round this season. So, and he's doing really well for me, so I want to keep him. So before the draft starts, I have to decide that because there is a deadline for keepers. And for me to keep him, I have to draft him in the 3rd round. So then, because that's one higher than when he was originally drafted, which was the 4th. So that's how that works. So you can do that with any round except the 1st round. So if you drafted someone in the 1st round, you can't keep them because that's the highest round, obviously. So you can't go like backwards. You know, you can't go from 1 to the 17th pick. So anyone drafted in the 1st round, they'll be available for anybody next season. So and it's good strategy because for me, I drafted Jameis Winston, the quarterback for the Buccaneers, in the 10th round. So I'm probably going to keep him next season, and all I have to do is draft him 9th. So, which is nice because I think he'll be a good quarterback in the future. So if I get him in the 9th round, I mean, that's pretty low, and that's a good quarterback to have. So, and he might even be my starter for the whole season next season, which would be awesome. So I can invest my earlier picks into running backs, receivers, and a tight end or something. So keep that in mind when you, with your team and the end of this season, you want to see if you want to pick any or keep anyone. You have the option of doing that, but there are some things. You can only keep players who you drafted and were on your team the whole season. So, for example, let's say I trade for a player and I really like him and he did well for me and I want to keep him. Well, sorry, but I can't. So, anyone traded can't be kept. And the reason why is, let's say the player I get was a 4th round pick on someone else's team and I want to keep Kelvin Benjamin, who was my 4th round pick. So, to keep them both, I'd have to use a 3rd round pick. Well, I only have one 3rd round pick, so it's just less confusing and more strategic for your draft. So, like, you draft players you want to keep, and it's just easier that way. So you can't keep players you traded for. Also, they have to be on your roster the whole season. So if you drop anyone, that's it. They're available for anybody. So I dropped Adrian Peterson because he was sucking like a straw for me. So I was just like, I just let him go. I don't need him. But let's say, like, the 2nd week before the playoffs, I'm like, you know what? I'll pick him up. Maybe he'll do better next season with a different team or whatever. So I pick him up because no one took him. That still doesn't count. Even though I drafted him and I had him at the end of the season, I still let him go during the season. So anyone you drop, you can't keep, which goes the same with picking someone up via waiver wire or free agency. I picked up Tim Cohen, the running back for the Chicago Bears, and he's doing pretty well. He gets a lot of receptions. So if I wanted to keep him, I couldn't because I didn't draft him. So I can't use a draft pick on him. It's not like I can use a 17th round pick because I picked him up off the waiver wire. So you can't do that. So just to summarize, you can keep 5 players on your team. They have to be drafted by you, and they have to be on your team the whole season. And that's why we have the IR spot. So let's say someone gets injured on your team and you can't start him. Well, you can put him in your IR spot if he's on the IR in the National Football League. So like let's say a player's out for 4 weeks because he had surgery or something happened. You can put him in your IR spot, and that frees up a roster spot for you to pick up someone as his replacement or just to have, as a backup for your other positions. So that's nice because you want to, if that player who got injured is a good player and you want to keep him for next season, you want to put him on your IR spot. And that's something else we can discuss, how many IR spots we think we should have. Right now, I think one's good. It adds more strategy to who you put on and Also, it makes people have to make waivers and make moves to raise the pot. So it's not like you can have 2 free spots if you get 2 players injured. So all that good stuff. So, but we can talk about it. We can take a vote on that. But yeah, just to summarize that. The second thing I wanted to talk about was trading draft picks for players. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I posted a league managers pool on the app. So let me know if you want to do it. But just to summarize, I think it'd be cool if when you do trades with someone, you can offer them your draft picks. So let's say someone on, like, if I want my friend's receiver AJ Green, and I offer him Kelvin Benjamin, Tim Cohen, and my second round pick for next season just for AJ Green. And that's a pretty good trade. I mean, he might not take it because AJ Green's a valuable receiver, but it's something he might consider. Maybe he's not doing well in the regular season, and he knows he won't be able to keep AJ Green because I believe that was his first round pick for next season. So he's like, well, I'll unload him and get something for the future, like a second round pick I can use. So that way it's cool and makes the draft more interesting because then people will have multiple higher picks if they make trades. They might not have a pick in that round, and then it makes you really plan your future. Like if you're a team that's 0-8, let's say, and you're not going to make the postseason, well, you can just plan for next season. Trade your best players trade your best players for draft picks, and just stuff like that. So it's like kind of baseball where the teams who are contending trade for a rental player and give up their prospects, or if there's a team not making the playoffs, they trade their good players to get prospects for their future. So take a vote on it. Let me know what you think. I think it'd be cool. And I can explain more about it when we take the vote and see what people say. And then the last thing, I originally said the team with the best record in the regular season gets their money back. I'm actually going to change that. I've seen in the standings where a lot of teams have the same record. There's a lot of teams that are 3-2, 2-3, and which is awesome because it makes the league competitive, and everybody's doing a good job with that. So there might be multiple teams with the same record at the end of the season. 3 teams might go 9-4, by the end of the season. So how am I going to divide that amongst them? That's not really fair. So I decided that the third place team in the whole league will get their money back. So how that works is there's going to be 8 playoff teams, so that'll be like the divisional round, and then that goes down to 4 teams in the conference round. So the 2 teams that win in that round, in the conference round, go to the championship, and the 2 teams that lose will go to like a loser's bracket and play the same week as the championship week. So that way it makes it more exciting for those 2 teams who didn't make it to the championship game and make them want to win. Because after they would lose, they'd probably be like, oh, this sucks. Okay, well, there's no point in me trying for next week because I'm not going to get anything. Well, this way they still can. Even if they come in third place, they'll get their money back. So it makes other teams, too, who were like the original 8, have a better chance of winning. Almost got a 50% chance of getting something. And that's another nice thing because at least 25% of the league will get something because we have 12 teams, so 3 people will win something. Either their money back, second place will get like 15 to 20%, and then the first place will get the majority of the pot. So awesome. Thanks for watching this video. Sorry it was so long. If you have any questions or concerns, give me a text or a call. Thank you.